Moyes' boys do the business. The final whistle has blown at the London Olympic Stadium. It has finished. West Ham United 3, Chelsea 2. The Hammers do it again. Can't beat Wolves. Can't beat Brighton. But there you go. The team that's top of the Premier League, not running away with it, but, been absolutely fantastic this season. Come undone at the London Olympic Stadium to David Moyes' West Ham, behind twice, but showing such spirit to come back and take all 3 points. Silva scoring the opening goal for Chelsea, Lanzini equalising from the penalty spot. Ziyech, it was Mount, not Ziyech. The Ziyech was the cross, the provider. Mount putting Chelsea ahead just before the half-time break. Jarrod Bowen scoring a fantastic effort 11 minutes into the second half. And then Arthur Masuaku, of all people, who would have predicted it? I'd love to know what the odds are on him getting the winner in a 5-goal thriller. Let us know. And if you had a few quid on it, I bet your quid's in right now. Arthur Masuaku scoring. Some say it was a miss-hit cross. I'll tell you what, he's never going to admit it. But 87 minutes on the clock. That was the final goal. West Ham, 3 points. The Pink Palermo's joined us. He's going to be absolutely euphoric when he comes on. But Gnome, your instant post-match thoughts.
Splendid performance. I thought tactically, Moyes had it spot on.
Yep.
We dealt with going behind brilliantly. Strong performances all over the pitch. Antonio didn't play well first half. I thought it was a lot better second half, even though things perhaps still didn't come off for him as they might. We've deserved the win. Kind of freakish, but I'll have that all day. No, I'm just over. I mean, literally over the moon. Well, not literally, obviously, because I'm here on planet Earth, but figuratively speaking, over the moon. There you go. You couldn't ask for any more. The hard work that went into that game was just something else. I think. You could see players coming off. Look, I don't think there's anybody on there you'd say didn't put in a shift. No doubt the form will probably prove me wrong when I go to look at it. But let's just enjoy this. It's we've lost one, drawn one, and won one in the last three. So that's 4 points out of the 9. Bearing in mind Manchester City was one of those. You'd have probably taken that, but not in that order. You'd have probably taken a win against Brighton and a draw against Chelsea, wouldn't you?
Certainly would.
I'm, as I say, Pinky's not going to enjoy this, but I thought Diop had a good game. Maybe he works better as part of the 3. And the guy they're just showing Souček now has found somebody, presumably a Czech hammer, has found somebody with the Czech flag there, and he looks a bit Czech. And he's finding his mates there. They're bringing somebody forward as well. And Souček's posing for a selfie with his mates there and a Czech flag. So somebody's taken a photograph, and Souček has got somebody's phone in his hand as well. So brilliant though, absolutely brilliant. Chelsea will feel hard done by the manner of the victory, but sort of basically all I've got to say about that.
Can't argue with that. Can't argue with that at all. There's a lovely moment. Just seen Declan Rice parading around the ground, clearly absolutely delighted at having beat Chelsea. And I'll tell you what, when he gets home tonight and gets on the phone to his mate Mason Mount, that's a conversation you'd love to hear, isn't it? In terms of
Mason.
In terms of having bragging rights.
Souček was running along. Souček running along the crowd, and he's just sort of low-fiving everybody in the crowd as he's going back. So he's happy bunny anyway.
You're right.
As am I.
He should be. yeah. A couple of comments for you coming through on social media. Statman Dave says West Ham are responsible for 33% of the goals Chelsea have conceded in the Premier League this season, and 60% of the goals they've conceded on the road. It just gives you some idea of what an incredible performance that was. As we said, Chelsea prior to today conceded only 6 goals in the Premier League. They've conceded half as many again in the space of 47 minutes actually. If you take it from Lanzini's penalty to Masuaku's goal. Anton Ferdinand, big West Ham man, he's already taken to Twitter to say, I'm not having it. We are massive. The gaffer has to take credit. Changed a few things at halftime, and the second half was a completely different game. We'll come to that in just a minute, talking about Moisey. And also, we've got to point it out, Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool, Chelsea, top 4 of the Premier League, Europa League last 16. We've beat them all. We beat them all. And here we are. We're not even at Christmas now. Amazing, amazing stuff. If only we could beat Brighton and Wolves, we would be, not just massive, but I don't know, out of this stratosphere.
If the Premier League had done their thing, and deducted points from the so-called Super League 6, we'd probably be top.
It's amazing.
They're just showing the Masuaku goal here, and they put a little thing on there showing he had an angle of 5 degrees to get that ball in.
I know we laughed at the time. I'm not so sure he didn't mean that, because if you watch it again, it does take a little look up first of all, and I'm not sure he's looking at the centre. I think he's looking at the space in the corner. We're never going to know the truth, but I'm not so sure. That was a complete fluff. I mean, it's the sort of thing that Masuaku would try. Let's be honest. He's that kind of player. On another note, we've got to say, I'm so pleased for him, because he's really taken so much stick lately, and been heavily criticised by me and others for the 2 goals at Man City and against Brighton. I'm just so pleased to see him come out and do that. And it's almost the only other goal I can think of like that was Konchesky's in the cup final.
It's exactly what I was thinking of. Yeah, I've just sort of I've got Jared Bowen on now at the moment. I've got it up on with subtitles, so I don't have to go mute. Bowen's got you can imagine the grin that Bowen's got on his face, he's just been saying stuff that we never know when we're beaten. I've had chances that I haven't scored recently, so it's good for me to get the goal, and I was absolutely buzzing. And it's just the interviewer was saying, well, you came back twice now. You're behind twice, which is true. It's something I haven't thought about. Twice we've been behind the league leaders and beaten them. So
I just pointed it out. Were you not listening to me a minute ago?
Yeah, what do I listen to you? But no, I'm just trying to paraphrase the interview at the same time. It's just been asked if there were any major changes at half time. And he said, well, just a bit more of the same. We just got slightly more aggressive at them in the pressing, and we were trying to limit their kind of game plan. So we just tried to do it a bit more, I think. And he said, me up top and me and Mickey, we needed to be the first line of that. And it went through the whole team. Bowen said, so morale, it's massive for morale. We hadn't won in 4 games, so to come back and beat Chelsea with a great performance, it's massive. Yeah. I have to say, I mean, we were talking about Arthur there. I thought he did play well when he came on.
Yeah, he
did. Notwithstanding the goal and whatever your views on that, I just think it was. I think Chelsea are kind of the sort of team that you need to play him against as well, because they haven't got anybody who's kind of like an out-and-out winger who's going to take him on or anything like that. It's more a case of he just needs to be, he just got in position well. And I think he got caught slightly out of position once, but even then he got back well. And the goal, well, I'd love to hear what Pinky's going to say about that if he's coming on.
But he was here a few minutes ago, but it looks like he's unable to get a connection because he's disappeared again, which is a shame. But we'll hopefully get Pinky on at some point. I mean, looking at this game, it's quite an incredible result. No Angelo Ogbonna, no Kurt Zuma for much of the second half. a central defensive pairing of Dawson and Diop, who apparently is that poor that he shouldn't be playing any Premier League games. Arthur Masuaku, who's taken more stick than any other player in that squad, playing out there. Declan Rice sitting at the centre, for the last 10 minutes in at centre half for when we went to 5 at the back. And here we are beating Chelsea. But this is the thing, though. I mean, my reactions might have appeared a little muted today, but it's not because I'm not absolutely loving what I've seen. It's because I'm not surprised at all. Having seen it, and we've done it year in, year out. This is just West Ham United, isn't it? To not beat Wolves, to not beat Brighton, and then to put in performances like that against Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City as well. It's just so West Ham, and then especially, with a depleted squad. But let's look at that quickly, because without wanting to put a damper on what's happened today, if Kurt Zuma's out for a while, that's a real issue for and of course Ben Johnson, who's the most versatile defender in the squad at the moment. Big problems for Moisey there looking ahead.
Yeah, we've got two definitely two key players there. I mean, I guess Johnson we've got a bit more cover for, because you've got Crest. I mean, he was playing right ahead of Soufal, or Soufal can play there, that's no problem. And we've got Cresswell to come back on the left. But so Johnson's kind of less of the loss. And I don't mean that in a disparaging way to Johnson.
No, of course.
But with Ogbonna out, we excuse me, sorry, our central defensive lineup was basically centred, if you pardon the pun, on having Zuma there and fitting people round him. Even if you have a 3, you need you wanted Zuma as your sort of kingpin in there, and that is going to be I mean, I thought he's been having a fine season, and it's been. I think the last time I saw anybody as distraught at being injured was possibly, you mentioned it before, Gaza, when he did his knee that time.
Yeah, in the semi-final, yeah.
Self-inflicted though that was.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so...
well, look,
I'm just laughing at something I've seen on the forum, which I'll take you through later.
We'll come to that in a minute, because you're going to enjoy. You're going to love what the Chelsea fans are saying.
Oh, yeah.
I can assure you on the
I'm
shed
looking forward to it.
Let's just take a quick journey back through the game. Have a quick look at the goals. The opening goal arrived after 29 minutes. Silva, who had made a couple of really, as I said before, uncharacteristic errors, giving the ball away in dangerous areas, lost Michail Antonio. Chelsea had a corner. We put it out for another corner. And this one they converted. Michail Antonio, you happy that he was at fault really for losing his man there?
Yeah.
Well, not happy, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, typical forward who's not a defender, really. It's. I mean, you know me, I'm not the shortest, but I was always the one they left up top when we had a corner, because I'm not going to mark a centre half out of the game, but something he needs to work on. I think Moyes will be having a word with him on that. If we want you back there because you can do a job there, but you've got to concentrate, and it was just total lack of concentration, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
poor start.
Yeah.
We'd done all right until that point as well, hadn't we? It was really even, and then we sort of let ourselves down. But we weren't behind for long. Only 11 minutes to be precise. It was Jarrod Bowen who tried to nick the ball off of Mendy. Mendy had a funny game altogether. Even to that point, he hadn't looked particularly confident. Tripped Bowen, and then up steps Lanzini. We've been crying out for a penalty taker. Is Lanzini our man?
He has taken them in the past on the pitch. I'm trying to remember years ago. There must have been a game when Nova wasn't in, but I'm sure he's taken penalties in the past, and and taken them confidently. So, when I saw it was him taking it, I thought, well, yeah, it's a penalty taker. He does take them. So I think I said it. He does take a penalty. So
and a good strike as well. Really good finish.
Yeah. So definite penalty. Mendy had an absolute mare. I'm going to break. Well, I won't break off. Mendy, terrible goalkeeping. I've got Thomas Tuchel now on the thing. Face like thunder, and he's saying, yes, I don't think we did bad. It was an okay match. We can win with this performance even. Here it is tough to play here. We did too many individual mistakes today. Mendy, I'd suggest. We did already against Manchester United and we did already against Watford. Today we got punished for it. And if you want to have a result at this kind of level, you have to minimise the mistakes. We talked about it beforehand, which obviously didn't help stop. Sorry, the teletext guy is been a bit slow here. So, but we'll come to this later when I'm summing up the game. But
all right. Okay, so where were we? Yeah, so 1-1. Lanzini levelling from the spot 11 minutes after Silva put Chelsea ahead, but West Ham unable to keep Chelsea out at the other end until half time. 44 minutes on the clock when Mason Mount. I mean, it was a West Ham again giving the ball away. Declan Rice conceding possession on the halfway line. Ziyech getting away down the left hand side. A really nice cross field pass to Mount on the opposite side of the penalty area. And Mount without a second thought. Crisp volley, low to the left of Lucas Fabianski. Great finish, you've got to say. But was Fabianski a little bit at fault there?
It was his near post, but it was a good finish. I think the problem you've got is if the one player who should be, who might have been marking Mount, who might have either cut out the ball to him or at least, sort of blocked any effort at shot or anything, is hobbling further up the pitch, desperately trying to get back. You're in a bit of a desperate situation. You could say Fabianski left too big a gap at the near post. I just think it was a good finish, to be honest. I think I'd give Mount more credit than demerit Fabianski on that one.
I tend to agree with you on that one. I think it was just a really, really good finish. And I think sometimes you've got to hold your hands up, haven't you, and say, full credit to the opposition. But 2-1 at half time anyway, at Chelsea leading. And then, of course, the comeback began. 56 minutes. Michail Antonio did really, really well to collect a pass, which he touched down for Jarrod Bowen. And Bowen, who a lot of people have been really critical of his finishing this season and saying something, that's the missing, almost like the missing link in his game to becoming a really top-class Premier League player. Finished with, you've got to say, aplomb. No, an absolutely fantastic strike into the bottom right-hand corner of Mendy's net to make it 2-2.
Yes, that wonderful Ron manager word, aplomb. It was a fine finish through the legs of the defender, but no chance really for Mendy there. And brilliant finish. And I think we said at the time, let's go for this. Let's get a winner. And but it was a great finish. Antonio did a lot of hard work in there. We said it during commentary there that Antonio didn't have the greatest of first half. Second half, again, not everything came off for him by a long chalk, but there was kind of a little bit more of a spark about him. It was the second half. There was more an attitude of, well, that didn't work. Let's go again and see what we can get to work, as opposed to he looked a bit despondent when things didn't run from the first half. So he did improve second half, as I say. I haven't looked at any comments on the forum about Antonio yet. He was getting sort of a lot of stick earlier on, but I thought he improved second half no end. And you had both Antonio and Bowen making it difficult for the Chelsea defence. Like Man City, when you play them, that you're going to concede a lot of possession. And it's making that defence, making the midfield work hard. If they want to keep their possession, they're going to have to work hard or just keep possession in non-threatening areas. And I thought we did that pretty well all the way through the game. Definitely second half. Yeah, a number of times you saw a player go forward and then stop and look at it, go sideways, then back. And because everyone was working their socks off to make sure that couldn't happen. But great goal from Bowen. Well, let's say fine goal from Bowen, who had a fine game.
Yep. And then, 87 minutes on the clock, and nobody. If you could have predicted this, then I guess we'd like you to give us next week's lottery numbers, because who would have thunk it? Arthur Masuaku only on the pitch as a replacement for the stricken Ben Johnson right at the end of the first half. Broke away down the left-hand side, looked up. What was it? Gnome, 5% gap, was it? 5-degree angle? Yeah, you said?
They put the angle up on there. He said, look, if he's aiming for that, he's got 5%. And I think that when he hit it, the ball did actually start to swing away a little bit, but it went back. And Mendy had taken one step the wrong way. And, it just had no chance. We got David Moyes on, and well, David Moyes, truthfully, I didn't think we played that well today, but we got, there's other games. We played better in other games, not quite got the goals. Today, we got the goals to go with it. We didn't concede many. All praise to the lads. I thought we were too passive and submissive in the first half and didn't really get going. I wouldn't say we didn't try to close them. We did, but they are quality. And that's why they're the European champions, because of the level they can play. Whether you press them or stay off them, they're very good at both. It's just been asked about the winner. I just said to Arthur, it was a great cross. And sorry, it's just, again, subtitles, guys, catching up. We lost the goal in the last couple of minutes the other night. The goal was very fortunate. Let's not kid ourselves on, but you need it, and sometimes we got it back. We had some brilliant individual performances, but I think overall I wanted Arthur to play much better, and I think we can. The good thing is we can beat Chelsea and say we're not playing well, So hopefully that helps us. And also we had to recover from mistakes, but then the subtitles stopped. We're talking about the corner goal now. We're normally pretty good at defending set pieces, so I didn't like it at the time. And because it's something we've been pretty good at sorting out. We'll look at it and see what we can do better. So that's that word with Antonio I was suggesting. Chelsea are good at set pieces as well. They've got the right to try and score a goal, and we've got to try and defend it. Jared Bowen came into himself. This is the level he should be playing at. He should have scored a great goal. Maybe he should have scored at the other one. He was sort of bending it in at the far side when he was through. He nearly took the front. He took the front line and gave us a new dimension up front. So he did much better. They're now talking about Johnson and Zuma. We played Brighton in midweek. They had 3 players who went off with injuries. We've had the same today. I know we're mad for the football, and everybody is, but we have to be careful with players, how we do it at the moment. It's tough, but that's the league we're in. I've said a few times, I want to try and compete with whoever is at the top 4. Chelsea and Liverpool probably be always in the, will always be in the top 4. We're giving them a game in at the top 4. We don't want them to think it'll be an easy game against us. But for us, try to be consistent, hang on, keep on the shirt tails of the teams above us, then see what we can do. There, that's David Moyes, and who, as Joe Cole's just saying as well, and I think quite right, deserves as much credit as the players today, because I thought tactically, I said earlier on, spot on.
Yeah, no question. We'll come to that in a minute, because obviously we spoke earlier about Moyes' changes. We'll come on to that. A few stats for you. And now, obviously, we'll begin by looking at the final match stats. Possession, West Ham 36% to Chelsea 64%. West Ham 11 shots at goal, 5 on target. Chelsea 19 shots, 7 on target, only one corner for West Ham today, 9 for Chelsea. The XG stat, Gnome's favourite, the one he's always waiting for. West Ham 1.84 to Chelsea's 1.13. There's a few other statistics for you. Jared Bowen's game by numbers today: 21 successful passes, 10 ball recoveries, which is quite astonishing actually. 4 fouls, 1, 4 crosses, 4 shots, 2 big chances, and 1 goal. Absolutely outstanding. Michail Antonio created 4 chances today. In total, that means he's now created 29 chances in the Premier League this season and across the whole of Europe's top 5 leagues. No player has created more chances from the centre-forward position. It puts him level with Karim Benzema, which is some statistic. West Ham, another little stat for you. West Ham have now won 3 top-flight games in 2021 against teams starting the day in the top 3 positions in the league table. Their most such wins in a calendar year since 1983, which is pretty damn impressive. Chelsea's loss today was their first Premier League defeat after leading at half-time since, have a guess, no? When was the last time Chelsea lost after leading at half-time? How long ago do you reckon?
April 2019.
Well, you're actually not far out. It was December 2018. So you're only 4 months out. They were losing against Wolves under Sarri, Maurizio Sarri, and went on to lose. Prior to that, they'd been unbeaten in 48 league games, went ahead at half time before playing West Ham today. So the more you look into this, the more you see what an outstanding achievement this has been by West Ham to beat Chelsea today. Of course, Chelsea, the current Champions League, the Kings of Europe, Premier League leaders. I mentioned a little while ago that at some point the live league table put Chelsea 12 points ahead of West Ham. Not the case now. They're now just 6 points ahead. Chelsea top of the table, 33 points from 15 games. Man City and Liverpool both have a game to play, 32 and 31 points respectively. And now West Ham, 4th in the Premier League with 27 points from 15 games, 4 points ahead of 5th place Arsenal. And that lets me nicely bring Rio in. Rio is, look at the smile on that face. That's a happy, happy man right there walking away from the London Stadium. Rio, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
I hope you can hear me.
We
Is
can,
it coming through here?
Beautiful,
Yeah,
perfectly. Loud and
Whether
clear.
you can hear me or not, mate.
Loud and clear.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that was all right, wasn't it? That was all right.
Not bad, not bad.
Yeah, that's all I can say.
Well,
I'm marginally happy.
yeah.
I can pick holes in things, but I'm not going to pick holes in things at the moment. I'm just absolutely delighted. I did call it half time. I sent my son a message at half time saying next goal wins. I thought we missed a trick by not starting 4-0. So I thought his pressing would have made a huge difference because they are vulnerable on the press.
Yep.
You get at them, they're there to be beaten. But I mean, what a way to win it. The much maligned, feared to be feared. Unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable.
Well, look. Talk to me about this. Let's have a chat. We've talked about it, Rio. We can't work it out. I've got a feeling he meant it, and I'm sure he won't deny it. But when you see it on TV, you see the replay just before he strikes the ball. He does take a look towards that corner that's slightly unguarded by Mendy. What was your view of it from the stadium?
Because we sit kind of looking to that corner on the right hand side. I just thought we'd missed a trick. I thought get the ball over early, but I don't think he meant it. But I'm not going to deny him his moment of glory because it's just a majestic moment. It's what supporting West Ham is all about, you know. Putting a spoke in the wheels of teams like that. And bless him, Arthur, when he come on, he looked like he's been personally coached by David Moyes for the whole second half. Moyes was in his ear all the time. And I'm not 100% sure he meant it, but I'm going to give it to him anyway. I think it's deliberate. Arthur, you can have what you want.
Yeah, it was just, I mean, we were saying that to end the game with Issa Diop, Craig Dawson as your centre halves, you know, and Arthur Masuaku on the pitch. If you'd have put money on that, you'd be a rich man tonight, right?
I think if you'd have put money on that tonight, I think it's like Pinkish road gallery of West Ham players, isn't it? All lining up, all being absolutely majestic towards the end there. He must be seething somewhere if he's not already drunk.
Let's have a quick chat, gents, about man of the match. I think I know what you're both going to say. I'll start with Gnome first. What do you reckon?
Jared Bowen. I thought he was exceptional today. There were. I mean, I say 11 players, but whichever 11 we had on the pitch, everyone put in a shift. But I saying it all the way through the game that how well he was doing, and he hassled, he harried. He could have had a hat trick, really. I mean, there was the one where he stretched, didn't quite get onto it. Yes. There was another. The goal he scored. There was the other one where he got goal side and tried to curl it into the top corner when perhaps Ben Rama might have been the better option there. But yeah, I thought he had a fine game. That's okay. I need my selection.
All right, Bowen for Gnome. Rio, you going for Bowen or someone else?
I'm going to go for Bowen just above Declan Rice. So I thought, in terms of skill and technique, was the best player on the pitch. But in terms of work rate, effort, desire, hunger, Jared Bowen has put what is much kind of lauded as a world-class club side in Chelsea. It's a shame. He worked their socks off. He didn't rest for 1 minute. It wasn't the greatest first half as a team from us, but he led by example in the first half. In the second, he stepped up a gear, and it made the world of difference. It was absolutely amazing today. And how some of those players who get in the England squad actually achieved that when Jared gets over the week in, like week out for the by Southgate. It beggars belief to me because, yes, his finishing isn't world class, but what he offers you in terms of, let's say, work rate, desire, hunger and effort, that makes the world of difference to a lot of people, a lot of teams.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you mentioned his finishing there, but wasn't a bad strike today, was it? He took that beautifully.
When he does hit the net, it's never normally an easy go, is it? It's always a strike with absolute bomb. What made it was more special for me was it went through the defender's legs, perfectly into the corner, in front of our fans there. It was the catalyst to that last period of the game where we just stepped up. Every question was asked by Chelsea. We answered in exquisite fashion and took it to them.
We certainly did. Let's talk briefly now about David Moyes' tactics, rightly being hailed as a bit of a genius for what he's managed to achieve this season, beating Liverpool, beating Chelsea, beating Manchester United, beating Manchester City, beating Leicester, and also, a few mid-table teams like, I don't know, Newcastle, Tottenham, those sort of teams. But talking specifically about today's game, what did you feel the main difference was, Noam, in that second half? What did Moyes do at half-time to turn that game on its head?
I think, as was being said, I mean, we were pressing well, we were working hard, but it was just lacked a little something, the pressing in the first half, maybe.
Yeah.
And I think, as Bowen came on and said, we just carried on doing more of the same, but with a bit more aggressively. We're a little bit more in their face at all levels. Now, I thought Bowen was doing that pretty much for the 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And I said earlier on, if a ball's played up to him in the air, he doesn't mind how big the defender is that's defending it. If the defender wins it, the defender will have to work to win that ball because he'll jump. And he does win a fair few. I mean, as I say, you can't, when you've got somebody sort of trying that hard, and it's got to rub off on your teammates to a certain degree as well, You see him out jumping the defender because he's timing the jump right. You think, And I just think we were a little bit tighter in the press. So,
okay.
In the second half.
All right, Rio, what about yourself? What did you? I mean, you were at the game. You were at the stadium. You managed to probably see a little bit more than we did in terms of how the team was set up and were playing. What did you feel was the real difference in that second period?
I think Noam's pretty much nailed it with that. But I also thought that Manuel Lanzini dropped back about 5, 10, 15 yards deeper.
Yeah.
And he was allowed to kind of dictate the play a lot more. In the first half, he was getting a little bit lost. He's all a bit too congested for me. But him dropping deeper, open up a little more space. He could see passes a little bit more in a lot more areas that he couldn't in the first half because it was just too congested. That opened up, forwarded Declan and Suchek to get about 5 or 10 yards further forward. And I think Chelsea struggled to cope with that initially. And it took them about 5-10 minutes to kind of settle down. But by the time that happened, we had the foothold back in the game.
I've got to point out that Arthur Masuaku was just taken to social media. And he's written this. So was it a cross or was it a shot? Question mark, exclamation mark. Hint. I was as surprised as you.
Top man.
So there you go. Clearly, yeah, a little
man.
bit fortuitous, shall we say, to see it hit the back of the net. But we're so pleased, Rio, for Arthur Masuaku. I mean, you know, we've given him pelters. I mean, Pinky and I were in, you know, we're simply cracking up at some of his antics on you know, the game against Brighton. So, you know, it's lovely to see him get that, isn't it? And especially in that way, 87th minute against Chelsea, and it's the winning goal, not just any goal.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, you can't fault his desire and his effort. What you can fault is his awareness and what David Moyes places so much intent on is his technical. His positional awareness and his defensive now. So to come back and answer a lot of critics in the way they did today, and like you said, against these lot, it just makes one more sweeter, doesn't it? There's a few people in my extended family, there's a few people at work who'll be getting stick beyond belief on Tuesday when I go back in.
Good stuff. Another player, of course, Gnome, that's, you know, been quite heavily criticised in recent games, Michail Antonio. Not brilliant in the first half, did okay, but, you know, came alive, didn't he, in the second half, and had a real influence in pretty much everything West Ham were doing going forward.
Yeah, as I say, not even in the second half, not everything he tried came off, but I think the things he was trying were a little bit more sensible, if you like, and and yeah, whilst he may not have had an awful lot of luck, I think Moyes may have just said to him, "Look, there's Bowen. See what he's doing. Yeah, a little bit more of that." And I mean, yeah, Chelsea's defence, make no mistake, no, they've been in a game today, despite all the possession. So right. Sorry, just seeing another message come across there. So you've seen it as well.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to come on to that. What, Rio? I don't know if you saw it on from the stands, but when we made the last change, who is it? When Ben Rama came on, he ran over to Declan Rice, gave him a note which Rice read intently a couple of times, then stuffed down his shorts. I think we've lost Rio, so I'll throw this one over to Gnome. Any guesses? What did it say on that note?
I'm guessing it said words to the effect. It wasn't a long piece of paper, but it probably said to the effect, back three. Let's go to a back three. So and because we were watching for that, weren't we? And when the camera pulled back, once he'd read it and looked up and pointed back, let's have 3 and 2. So that's what it was, because he definitely dropped back once he got the note. Yeah. And I guess another player. I know his English isn't that good, but I guess if he'd been bringing on another player, he'd have just told him, because Ben Rama apparently he just about gets by, I think, with the language. So I think it needed a note. Unless you could get the guy on the scoreboard and put it up there, I suppose.
It might have given the game away slightly, that one, I guess. Yeah. But Declan Rice had another good. Should we have a look at the forums? No, this could be fun. Let's have a bit. Are you ready to go? Or do you want me to do Chelsea first?
You do Chelsea first, because
all right.
What's my laptop doing?
Let's have a look then. I mean, as you'll probably not be surprised to hear, the Chelsea fans are going apoplectic after what they've seen this afternoon, leading 2-1 against West Ham at half-time, coming away with nothing. Bordeaux Blue gets us rolling by saying it was absolute crap, not good enough. Alonso is so far behind what Chilwell was offering. Jorginho and Mendy horrid. Lukaku totally see-through. What a poor run of performances we're on. Must be terrible sitting top of the Premier League and, through to the last 16 of the Champions League. Awful. Loz, and this is sort of encapsulates what I've been saying about this particular forum and Chelsea fans. Loz says, this is a perfect example of why we aren't genuine title contenders. We can't cope with Conte for too long, being out for too long, and none of our forward players are ruthless enough. You don't expect Odoi, Ziyech, Pulisic, Havertz or Lukaku to score. All of them are shot shy and predictable. Monkworth saying that, talking about Chelsea's goalkeeper, says Mendy is just being nice to his fellow keeper. Now Kepa can get a game. Dino suggesting that the title challenge is over. The only way we can get back to the top of the table is if City and Liverpool collapse together. It's now crisis mode for us to not let the wheels fall off, or it's bye-bye Tuchel. I'm not sure how many over-the-top cliches we can, shoehorn into one post, but Dino's done an awfully good job of doing it within the space of 2 lines there. Sindre says they countered, otherwise they were 11 men inside their own half, like the pathetic side they are. That one's going straight in the opposition view on Monday. We dominated them again and gifted them 2 goals, both mainly down to Mendy. Unfortunately, Phil H930 says pathetic. We are so fragile right now. Zita, we've had our few games where we played really well. Now I guess we'll just be playing again for a while. The last few games have been awful. Coco saying goal 1, a stupid error from Mendy, not clearing the ball. Goal 2, a shot aimed straight at Christensen's legs, somehow miraculously goes through them. Goal 3, an obvious cross, spoons up off his boot and freakishly turns into a goal. Masuaku doesn't disagree. Conclusion, luck is not with us. Injury crisis confirms our luck has vanished. SFL82 saying everyone's going on like West Ham have played a perfect tactical masterpiece. A penalty and a cross that went in. Relax. The best and the worst there from the Chelsea Forum. Of course, we will be bringing you lots more on tomorrow morning in the opposition view. Gnome's been keeping an eye on the KUMB.com forum match thread. I bet there's a lot of happy hammers out there today, Gnome.
Yeah. I'd just like to point out that last one. Then, if they're going, penalty and a miss-hit cross, well, yeah, what about a goal scored when the marking player is 20 yards up the pitch with a dodgy hamstring?
Yeah.
That's a bit fluky, isn't it? So it's all right for them, though. I mean, when we lose, we're miserable for a whole week because we're stuck with West Ham. They can just go and support whoever they supported before 2003 and be done with it if they're having a bad day. Lots of very happy faces, as you can imagine, on the forum. Just sort of, this first one, which is the one that made me laugh earlier on, and I'll say it now before I move on to later comments. Is it time already to suggest about the positioning of a certain blue flag? From Venice Hammer there. So I think the answer to that, Venice Hammer, is yes. Moving on. Unusual name of Turtle Charity Racer. Hello, Turtle, if I'm maybe so informal. Lanzini moving to a deeper midfield role changed the way for West Ham, allowed us to keep possession. I think he should play there every week. Similar to what Rio was saying before his batteries went there, unfortunately. Yep. Where was the other one that made me laugh a minute ago? I'll find it. There was one that just had 3 words in it, and there we go. Cockney Hammer's very pleased, proud of them all. Thank you, David Moyes and the boys. And much as we were saying about the pelters he's got, WHU 1994. I'll never speak a bad word against Masuaku again. So, well, hold you to that.
Yeah.
I just like loving some of the Arthur Gold things. What a goal! Gave him the eyebrows and bent it into the top left-hand corner. What a finish!
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's just just a lot of very happy people. long post here, but I think I'll repeat it anyway.
Okay.
From sorry, my eyesight's going. Wilco 1304. My apologies, Mr. Moyes. I was concerned that we were too much about what they were doing, but we matched up really well and then counterpunched. Antonio grew into it after being a bit sloppy. Bowen was incredible. Lanzini good. The whole defence brilliant. Credit to Masuaku. Luckiest goal he could score, but thought he defended well and also helped balance the side. Johnson just doesn't give that balance. Diop excellent too. Maybe could have been better for the second, but showed why you play him because we had so much more functional play on that left-hand side because he's comfortable that side. It's going to be him and Dawson for at least a couple of weeks unless he does deck in there like how he ended. Bowen man of the match, finishing much better from inside right too. I think that's the perfect summing up of the game for me. Yeah, excellent post there, Mr. Wilco, in my opinion, for what it's worth.
And I should of course stress, Gnome, that if you want to hear more from Wilco, you can do so on the new KUMB podcast, which Wilco hosts.
That's Wilco. Sorry, I did. Yeah,
indeed. Yeah,
sorry.
Our fellow team member. You've probably heard of him.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Chris.
Yeah, Chris, of course.
Rubbish. Terrible post. Terrible. Forget everything I said. Sorry, mate. Sorry. Cheers.
Yeah, Wilco, of course, the host of the KUMB podcast, which you can find the new episodes of on KUMB.com. If you look under the main menu and under the KUMB drop down, you will see KUMB podcast link there. 7 episodes already from Wilco and West Ham WHU Analytics, Callum and Jack Elderton as well. Great trio. The new breed, you could call them, the youngsters going through and telling us all about football. Some brilliant, seriously though, but some brilliant statistical analysis from the trio, which is an absolute must listen to. You can also see it on YouTube if you look on this very YouTube channel, KUMB's YouTube channel. You can find all the podcasts on there. As I say, lots of expert analysis. No, we're going to wrap up just about there because I've got lots of work to go and do now. I've got to go and write about a certain game that West Ham have just won.
I've got to change this Galahad T-shirt, by the way, on the grounds that I'm really not 100% well, and I'm drowning in sweat. It's soaking. So I've got to go and change this shirt, and it's going straight in the wash.
Before we do that, though, before Gnome goes and changes his T-shirt, and before we let him do that, we are going to take a customary look ahead to the next game. We're going to change it slightly. We're going to look ahead to the next 2 games because, as we said, they're coming thick and fast at the moment in December. We face Dinamo Zagreb on Thursday night, the London Olympic Stadium, West Ham's final Europa League fixture in Group G, and then of course we're up to Burnley on the 12th, on Sunday, next Sunday afternoon for our next Premier League outing. 2 games within space of 72 hours. Once again, Gnome, at least we don't have to travel in Europe this year, but then that trip up to the Northwest. Firstly, Thursday, what sort of side do you see David Moyes putting out? Do you think he's going to rest as many as possible and bring some of the youngsters in?
Yeah, it's basically job done, isn't it? And yeah. So you're quite justified in doing that. I can't remember what the state of the rest of the group is at the moment, so it may not please some of the other teams, but we're not here for their benefit. They want to scrap around for the last 32 and the Thursday night Isthmian League. Let them do it. A few players have earned a night off, I think, and so I would I'd expect to see a partly out of necessity because obviously we lost Zuma and Johnson with injuries today. So
so you'd assume that it'll be. Do you think it'll be Diop and Dawson, or do you think even someone like Baptiste or Elise might even come into the team and start?
Yeah, potentially. I think they've been on benches, haven't they, in Europe?
Yeah.
So I think obviously they'll have a look at these players obviously over the next day or 2 in training, and although we think about it, I mean, until Ogbonna went out, I mean, Dawson's had a few games, right? But Diop's not had an awful lot of football, so maybe he'll go with them. But Yeah, I wouldn't be upset if he didn't. Let's put it that way.
All right.
Nobody can say we're not taking it seriously. So because as I say, we've done the job.
Yeah.
We're a game to spare, and that's what that sort of thing does for you. You get the job done early, then you can do what you like in the last game, and I'd be quite happy with that. So.
Any additional players likely to be rested? Do you think Antonio, maybe Jared Bowen, players like that, Declan Rice, Souček, maybe they've not had much of a rest either.
Yeah, Declan Rice has generally been missing the European games, hasn't he? And Souček, Souček's rest would be, but again, you do get players who genuinely would take umbrage at missing any games. And I get a feeling that Souček, tired though he may be, isn't mentally tired. In his head, he's not tired, sort of thing, and would probably like to play every game. But no, this is an ideal point at which to rest him. And Antonio is generally hasn't been considered for European games, even when there's potentially something on them. So I wouldn't expect to see him on Thursday night.
All right. Okay.
Maybe they'll give more of a run out to young Sonny Palmer, who nearly had that dream debut the other week.
Yeah. Or Sonny Perkins, even.
Sonny Perkins. What am I saying, Palmer? I was thinking of Scotty Palmer. That's right. That's Scotty Parker. Parker Perkins. No, I'm not well. Leave me alone.
Anyway, I think we're agreed that we expect to see a lot of changes on Thursday night against Zagreb. West Ham, of course, as Noman rightly pointed out there, have already won the group, already through to the last 16. So it's a dead rubber in that sense for the Hammers. Not so for Zagreb, of course, who've still got plenty to play for. Sunday, Burnley. Bit of a strange one for us over the years, Turf Moor. We've had a few decent results, but we've sort of, fallen foul to Sean Dyche's tactics at times. Chris Wood, of course, if he's fit, he's up there with the very worst of the West Ham's nemesis over the years. Lukaku won today, of course, didn't manage to do it. But how do you see that one going? Burnley haven't done particularly well, but they're not a bad side, and they've got that the new lad whose name escapes me now, who they brought in the summer. Absolutely fantastic player. While you're discussing your thoughts, I'll find his name anyway.
Name, yeah. Please, because I can't remember it. I know you mean that. I think that's one we'll win because, apart from anything else, I don't think you can underestimate the value of today's win in getting that confidence back. There was just we didn't play well against Brighton, and it was almost a case of, I think if we'd lost this one, that little doubt that would have crept in, like usually when we played Liverpool, for example, can we do this? I'm not sure we can do this. Whereas we knew we could do it against Liverpool. I always thought we could do it today. I said so right at the start. I'd just like to remind everyone. And but that put that swagger back in, that almost arrogance, that you need to keep winning. So I think we'll win up at Burnley. I'm still having nightmares about the time we went up there a year or two ago, and it was Roberto.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Oh, so
what a day.
But,
so you fancy 3 points then? You think we're going to be bouncing, bounce back to with a win?
I mean,
away
if you look at Burnley the last couple of seasons, certainly last season, they finished just outside the bottom three. I'm not sure it was fourth or fifth from bottom, somewhere around that area. Yeah. And they kind of benefited from the fact that last season, Sheffield United, West Brom, and who else went down? Fulham, was it last season? Yeah, well, there it was. The bottom three was so far adrift from anybody else that kind of the relegation spots were almost finished in. They were almost finished in July, wasn't it? But they were so far off it that they didn't have to be any good last season, and I think there's a little bit of that creeping in this season. They're currently drawing 0-0 with Newcastle, in case anybody's still watching us. But Yeah. So I think when we went up there, and I'm talking like going up there and playing against Roberto, playing with Roberto, I'm saying against Roberto because he was almost an extra player for the opposition. We didn't have that. We didn't have that swagger. We were, if you've not got confidence in your goalkeeper right from the start, you're not playing well from the start, really, because and boy did he. I mean, Mendy thought he had a nightmare today. Show him the video of that game, and yes. Roberto, hold my beer.
dreadful performance. The guy we're thinking of, Maxwell Cornet. Thanks to Dan Robinson as summer signing.
I was most disappointed when he didn't have the number 99 shirt.
Yes, very good. Signed from Lyon in the summer, 12.85 million. And actually, he was a player that West Ham were linked with, of course, but has hit the ground running for Burnley. Scored 5 goals in his last 8 games. So he's on fire. Definitely a player we'll have to watch. And as I said, of course, Chris Wood, if he's fit and firing, one player that always seems to do really well against West Ham. But I think that's about it. I think we've covered just about everything, haven't we, today?
I think so.
Good stuff.
The toast didn't come back up.
Well, let's go to final thoughts. Final word: West Ham beat Chelsea. West Ham 3, Chelsea 2.
Fortunate winner. Yeah, I will admit that. But who cares? The winner itself was fortunate. The victory wasn't. That's the way to put it, I think. That sounded quite erudite for me, didn't it? I must be ill.
Perfect. That's it from us this afternoon. My thanks to Gnome for joining me throughout the game. Also for Rio for briefly popping the Pink Palomo. Did try and get him, but unfortunately, we can get him from Zagreb. We can get him from Glasgow. We can get him from Manchester. We can't get him from the London Olympic Stadium because of the dreadful comms they've got there. But there you go.
That is a shame because I wanted his views on Diop's game, but never mind.
Yeah, we'll save that one for next week. But we will be back with you on Thursday night, isn't it, for West Ham United versus Dinamo Zagreb, the final Europa League group game. And then, of course, as we were just talking about, it's off to Burnley next weekend. But as for now, West Ham United have beaten Chelsea. I don't know why any of us are surprised, really. We've completed the set now. Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester United, Manchester City, Leicester, Tottenham, all put to the sword by West Ham already this season. It's not even Christmas. Wonderful stuff. West Ham 4th in the Premier League once, or still 4th in the Premier League. 5 points clear now of Arsenal in 5th. So that's where we're going to end the weekend at worst. It's been a fantastic, wonderful, brilliant, superb, enthralling, captivating afternoon. Craig? How many points? 33, I think, wasn't it? Sorry, 27. 27. Chelsea have got 33.
Yeah, so
we're behind.
13 more to get.
Yes, we're nearly there. Nearly there. Safety nearly assured. Brilliant. Thanks to all of you joining us on the live stream. As always, thanks for your comments. We love reading them out and getting you involved throughout the game. And as per Dan's comment just recently, helping us out when we need some information provided. Have a wonderful afternoon, Hammers. Have a wonderful weekend and enjoy going back to work on Monday morning and winding up with those Chelsea fans. We'll see you very soon. Until then, come on, you Irons.
Cheers all. Bye, everyone.
We're here in the offices of a Late Late Show with the host of a Late Late Show, James Corden.
Hi.
Big West Ham fan.
Yes. And big knees up Mother Brown, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm regularly on the general discussion page. There's always someone who's got some information, so I love it. Yeah. It's great.
Get on the forum at kumb.com. Come on, you Irons.